Hey everyone, it's Grady from SUBOVERLAND, and in this video I'll be doing a little walk around of this 1996 GMC Suburban with our Summit package. Let's get right into it. So this is a 1996 GMC Suburban, not a Chevy Suburban. You guys, I don't know, maybe you heard that, but I almost called it a Chevy. Not that it's a huge deal or anything, but in '99 was the last year of the GMC Suburban. That's when they changed it to a GMC Yukon XL. So anyway, this thing is a beautiful car if you haven't already noticed that. This is the lowest mileage vehicle to date, to my knowledge, that we have done. This thing only has about 58,000 miles. And so it has been really fun to, build it out and everything. And like I was saying, this thing is in amazing shape. It was, I believe I am the third owner. The original owner was from up north here in Sun Valley or Ketchum, Idaho area, and they, I'm assuming, had it garage kept. It's not like showroom by any means, but it has super low mileage. The paint is in really good shape, and the interior was just it feels like a 58,000 mile car. Mechanically very sound. This is the half ton with the 350 V8, the 5.7 liter with the 4L60 transmission. And so we mainly just, built it into a Summit. So that includes our base package, which, all the fluids, tune-up, fuel filter, all the fluids, like I was saying here. And then we had to fix a transmission leak. I'm trying to think what else on top of our regular maintenance. I think that was mainly it. It had a transmission leak out of the shift solenoid on the side there. Or not the shift solenoid. Anyway, on these older 4L60s where the shift cable there's a little seal. Tiny. And so that thing was leaking, and it's kind of common on them. So we got that all figured out. But after we do all that, during that, we're going to do the suspension setup. So it's a leaf spring in the rear. So we do a little block on these. It's just like an inch on these half tons. We don't really like to raise them too much. It's kind of a harsh ride to level them out in the front if you get too crazy, in my opinion. And then in the front, new torsion keys with front and rear. We do a KYB Monomax shock on these 90s Suburbans. They don't offer a Bilstein 5100 for our lift size, so that's what we do on these, and they perform really well. I really do like that shock. Anyway, it's a KYB Monomax. And then for the tires, we did a Kelly Safari on these. I haven't used these, and really, we've been driving this thing for a long time, and these tires have done great. Did great in the winter, and yeah, I've been very impressed. It's a 285 75 16 all-terrain, 10 ply, and with the stock wheels. And then our full-size spare is up top on these 90s ones, and so we do replace the spare. And it's normally inside, unfortunately, and you have to throw it up top. Roof setup, we got a 100-watt panel on this one, roof basket, and then an awning I'll show you on the other side, and then a fan in the back, the Max Air fan. So here's our Ironman Delta Wing awning, and this is the 90. So it just comes straight out. This is their, most affordable option. It's not a freestanding one, and just a good, simple awning. I have never had any complaints on these, and they are great. I'll just show you guys something on this. So like I said, this is super low miles, and this door handle hasn't been opened very much. A lot of times on these 90s ones, you'll kind of get a little, I don't know, they get really loose inside, like the retainer will jiggle loose, and they just don't feel good. But this thing, I know I can't, you can't see that on video, but that just feels like just a brand new car. So here we are in the back of the vehicle. This is our, regular setup here with our cubbies and everything. And there's a little bit different. We have a bigger storage cubby right there. You can fit like a big old backpack down in there. And then these are a little bit taller up top too. It's a little bit different configuration than our, other models. Bed platform is the same. And then the ceiling, let's see if I can get this. This is some cool pine that I found actually. It's got some cool gray highlights. You can see in there. I love how it turned out. And I'm sure the client will too. We're gonna surprise him with this, but our typical, it's a pine and everything, but this one just had a little bit more of that gray you can see there. But yeah, so usually it is still pine, and we use birch on the side here for the cubbies and the bed platform. Drawer system, it's the same thing. You guys know the drill. There's box tops that go in there. That's a mattress cover. And then these are the window inserts. Let's see if I can find. There's a lot of them. Here we go. So here's one, for example, that goes in the back here. And there it is installed there, you can see. So those window inserts are really nice to have. And then here is our box top. These toppers. So you make them into like a little table there. So that's our setup for there. And then if you want to extend the platform, you just mimic this on the other end and you pull it through, and I'll show you that here. So here we are inside the vehicle, pulling this front just like that, and then I brought up the topper. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. And so that is how it will look when you're in, if you want to go into bed mode, if you're taller. And then you would fold that seat forward, and you can do the other side, and then this mattress would fold down like that. So yeah, that's their bed setup. So here's the electrical setup. This is a EcoFlow Delta Max 2 that we use in all of our builds. And this is plenty of power for what we supply. So this is going to be supplying our, there's a single light. You can see right there. This is the dome. One of these is connected to the dome, the existing dome, and then one is wired into a little switch over there. And then the fan, and then the fridge. And so that's what this thing is running right now. And it charges while you're driving. So here's the alternator charger that EcoFlow has. So when you start the car up, it charges the EcoFlow, and then it's also connected to solar. So it can be charged through both simultaneously or alone, or however you want to, hook that up. But that is how that setup is. This is a converter up top that converts the 110 into 12 volt into our fuse box right there. And so if you want to add more, fuses, more system in the future, you can, add that there. And so that's one of the reasons why we started going with that setup. So here's the interior setup. This seat actually had a little tear in it, so I decided to reupholster it. And so this is a new bottom, but everything else up top is the original. And then, as you can see there, I'm not lying, 58,000 miles. And, this has all the regular stuff, cruise control, AC, power windows, all that stuff. But we did upgrade the head unit. So it had, the old school you know, Delco head unit, and we have a you know, it says our Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and you can plug in your, you know, your phone for navigation and Bluetooth and all of that stuff. And so that's really nice to have. And then this is your fridge up front. It's a Dometic, and again, that's running off of our EcoFlow. So that is pretty much the tour. Again, it's 96 GMC Suburban. We built it into the Summit package, which includes all of our, you know, maintenance and mechanical and tires and suspension and all of that stuff. We reupholster things. It was missing a couple little interior parts that I, you know, went to the junkyard and found some of those pieces. So I had to kind of do a little digging there on these older cars. It's just kind of what happens over the years, you know. They're just old. But this thing is so fun to drive. I just love these 90s ones, especially one with that's just this good of shape and, you know, so mechanically sound. I mean, all of them are going to be mechanically sound when we send them out, but this thing only has 58,000 miles, so it's just fun. I'm sitting in a little time capsule right now, really. And then other than that, I guess, why would you go with an older Suburban like this? Well, this particular client, he didn't necessarily, you know, have any, I don't think, you know, like memories when he was a kid or whatever with the 90s Suburban. It was, I think, more like mileage based. He wanted a really low mileage vehicle, and here you go. We had it. But I love the looks of these things. I think they're never going to go out of style. And they're getting more and more, you know, hard to find and more collectible. And so this is just a great value, I think. Getting one with this low miles. But other than that, it's just more personal preference. The newer ones, you know, I will say they probably are a little bit more reliable and, you know, easier to work on. For like maybe interior stuff and even, you know, some engine components. They're just, you know, more readily available. So if I had to grade reliability and, you know, like fixability and parts, 2000 and up, maybe it has a little slight edge, but nothing to really worry about if you have an older one. These are still great and parts are everywhere. Very reliable engine, transmission's good, uses the same components as the newer ones. So GM just kind of stuck with what worked and still kind of does that for the most part. But thanks for watching this, and if you guys are interested in getting a classic like this is also something we can source. Although, I mean, it's hard to find, but I can, you know, if you guys hop on the waiting list, and we can try to source something like this for you too. Rust-free out here in Idaho. This particular person's on the East Coast, so that's a big factor in flying all the way out into Twin Falls, Idaho. It's because our vehicles aren't going to have that rust like some of the East Coast does, unfortunately. So keep that in mind when you're searching for an Overland vehicle. And if you like to, you know, hop on the waiting list or have some more questions, feel free to email or call me anytime. All that information is on our website, suboverland.com, and we'll catch you on the next video.